Hello YouTubers, book fanatics, and the people of the internet. Now, most of you who've been staying with me for the last 3 or 4 years know that I'm just a newbie wannabe guy who just does almost whatever he wants in a way, but this particular segment is called book discussions, and I'll once I try to do this every week or whenever I get a chance to put a new video on my YouTube channel. Now, and for those who haven't seen any new videos for TV discussions, I will bring some videos for that in the future. Not sure when, but I will. But let's begin. The first book is a manga. Most of the books I'll be discussing probably gonna do revised discussions on the ones I'm gonna mention in this video, but this is gonna contain 4 mangas. 4 different series. Now, most of you, let me explain one thing for those who don't know what manga is. Manga is a particular style of reading that comes from Japan. And it's a comic, in a way, but it goes from right to left, about 98%, between 98 to 99% of the manga is right to left. There's within the last 1 or 2% of it would be left to right. But let's get into this video. The first book series, which I recently finished, is Dead Man Wonderland. Now, this particular series I liked because it was interesting in a way. Now, a little overview or summary of this book series with here and there spoilers, but the Dead Man Wonderland is a 13-volume series, and it covers the tale of Genta, a middle schooler who got framed for brutally murdering his classmates. Now, Dead Man Wonderland started out as a manga, then a anime series, which I think it was a 12-episode anime series. Not really the big titled one like Bleach or Naruto, but Dead Man Wonderland had its moments, favorite moments. Everyone had their favorite moments in Dead Man Wonderland, if you've read it. And there were a few favorite moments in this book series, like Genta's fight against Crow, or the many others. Actually, I like the Undertaker Undertaker arc, but kind of did say there were a few spoilers, but I liked it because it was different. Even though it was a 13-volume series, it was decent enough to have a good ending. Now, the next book on this list, which it's been maybe a couple of years since I finished reading it, but the next one that I like to bring into this video is Love in Hell, or Love in the Hell. Now, don't confuse this with Life in Hell, Life, Death. That is a newer Love in Hell, but we're not going to discuss that one because that is still an ongoing book series, which I will cover in a later video. But in this one, Love in Hell. Love in Hell follows Mr. Rentaro, a guy who was a manga or artist in his late 20s. Now, he was about early to late 20s. Now, he had this party where he got blitz and fell on his head and died. Now, a little forewarned, anyone who is Christian or religious in any way, I'm not trying to offend you, but if you do, sorry. Not meaning to, but this guy wasn't really a religious guy, but and mind you, spoilers for this one and every book series I'll cover, and I'll say this in every video, but let's continue. Mr. Rentaro believes that he didn't do anything wrong that he could recall in his life, so he believes that he's going to heaven, but then ends up, mind you, naked in hell. Now, he is greeted by a demon who would be his overseer, and sooner realize that life in hell is almost like living in the real world, but a lot more painful. Meaning, yeah, he gets tortured and shit, so. But he questions why he was sent to hell. And not gonna give up that ending, but I felt it was short. Really, really short. Not the kind of why it's a 3-book volume or a 3-volume book series, but the ending kind of got cut off, but that's just my opinion. But if you read this and say different, just comment below. But never got a anime counterpart, which I wouldn't mind having to see that it made into a anime movie instead of a short series. But I loved it because it took a interesting turn on a subject most people don't talk about. Now, this next one, Nurse Hitomo's Monster Infirmary. Now, I believe it's an ongoing series, but if you've ever read Monster Museum or seen my TV discussions on Monster Museum, this is almost similar to that, but it's kind of a mix of both in a way, or more towards Rosary and a vampire. Kind of wish that they didn't botched season 2 of the anime, or at least made a third season for most of us who want to see it end correctly, but either way works. But this story kind of revolves around a nurse, a Cyclops, who feels the need to help the students in this middle or high school, not really sure. And I like it. If you haven't read it, go ahead and read it if you want. Not gonna force you. Now, this next one, I've off and on tried to catch up, but managed not to. Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches. Now, this one intrigued me a little bit because it almost somewhat mirrors Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but this one takes an interesting turn, though, because Yamada-kun, this guy, Yamada, he's your average high school student who, or not really average, but just imagine Bleach but with witches instead. Now, well, not exactly like Bleach, but let me explain. Mind you, Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches is still an ongoing manga series, so. But imagine a high school student who built his reputation being the bad boy type. Not the one that all women love, but the one that just doesn't care. Until he meets this really smart chick. Can't remember her name because it's been a while. But they are walking. How the story begins is both of them are walking up a flight of stairs when he tries to outstep the smart chick when he falls backwards and they both land unscathed, but they switch bodies. Now, that's how the story begins. I like it because they're trying to, understand how all this works. And mind you, everyone that they meet meet down the road, they is either a witch or someone who's interested in the supernatural. Now, understand that it's kind of a conflict of interest within this interesting story, but I'll let you guys figure that out. Like, subscribe, and see you all next time.